Cara Tenebaum is Vice President of Policy and External Affairs with the Ovarian Cancer National Alliance, and she joins us now from Washington. You can see from my point of view a personal story also. My wife's mother died of breast cancer, so I'm probably coming at it from a position where I shouldn't, but I'll try to play the foil on this, Cara. Why should we spend money for an off-label use?
Sure, Brian, and thank you so much for having us on. I want to just let you know that I don't think you're coming from a place that's unusual. Almost half of Americans get cancer at some point in their lives, so most of us have been affected. We have friends, family members, and it's very important that people get the right treatment at the right time. And so what we're concerned about at the Ovarian Cancer National Alliance, because some of our patients are already not able to get Avastin, they're not able to get it reimbursed. We're worried that if the FDA pulls the label for breast cancer, that some of these patients will have an even harder time getting the drug reimbursed.
Well, why should we, though, pay for drugs that are not necessarily being used for what they, not what they were intended to do, but maybe their primary purposes? Again, some of these off-label tests, some of the, sideways type treatments that doctors are finding, why should those be covered by taxpayers?
Well, off-label care, about 60% of cancer care is off-label, first of all. And second of all, it's always evidence-based. The issue with this particular drug, Avastin, is that we don't know who will respond well beforehand. There's no biomarker. But we do know that for a number of ovarian cancer patients, it does increase the time that they have until their tumor progresses. And so for those patients, it's very important that they get this drug.
What shouldn't we cover? Because when we talk about bringing down the cost of health care, some things will have to be cut, Cara. What should those be?
Well, Brian, I don't know that I can take a position on what can't be cut in particular, but I think that we want to follow the evidence here, and we want to make sure that patients get the care that they need to be healthy.
And what are you going to do about this? Obviously, we have not made a decision. Dr. Donald Berwick has not made a decision. Right now, it is still being discussed as a possibility. If it comes to fruition, if this occurs and Medicare reimbursement is cut off for some of these uses for Provenge and Avastin in your case, what will you do?
Well, first of all, we're working with a number of members of Congress, and we're working with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services on the existing problems that we have. We sent a letter to the FDA with the Susan G. Komen Foundation. I think that it's really important that patients do follow evidence and that they talk to their doctors. But I think that the FDA has not made a decision yet. We expect it to in the next 2 weeks, and then Medicare will make a decision after the FDA does. So I think we might be looking at a longer time frame, and I think there's plenty of room for patients, doctors, and concerned community members to weigh in here.
That's a good point. So maybe more focus from your group and others needs to be placed on the FDA. I'm sure they're immune to pressure, but we all know that everybody in DC is immune to pressure to a point.
Well, we want them to be evidence-based, and you talked about your friend Jason, who took Avastin for brain cancer, and that's also an accelerated approval, just like the breast cancer approval was. So I'm sure that there are a number of other groups, cancer groups, that will be active on this issue.
Cara Tenebaum, thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate your time. I was trying to play the foil a little bit, but like you said, almost everybody in America has been touched by cancer in one way or the other. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All
Thank you.
So Medicare usually covers